Another day, another episode, guys. Welcome back into Timelocke. Today we are doing something I've been wanting to do for a while. We are going to work on the base. If you've seen the last, I would say 2 or 3 episodes, I've had some dirt up and I've had some other things around because that's me doing some planning before actually ripping things down. So today we're going to start ripping it down. Probably be a couple episodes of working on this and just chatting. So should be pretty laid back because the last few episodes we did some mining, some other little things. So this episode we're now on to this. I wanted to start this off by talking about stuff on the main PB stuff, which is if you're still new here and don't know what's going on, PB, this is my side channel, the Plus. My main channel is Pokemon Brackets, and what that is, it's Pokemon content featured around Metronome, which is a move. And if you don't care, oh well, but I won't bore you guys too much with it. But today was a nice day because I managed to post on there again. At least of the time I'm recording this episode, it is about 9 o'clock on the 3rd. This will probably be coming out on the 4th, so hopefully not too bad of a time delay after that. But yeah, we finally posted on there again. I just was like, you know what, I need to do it. I was off today, and I had some time. I was like, you know what, let's do it. So I did that, and I posted, and some people enjoyed it, and hopefully I can get back into that. I also cleared off my computer, did a lot of file moving, all kinds of stuff, because Timelocke is beyond file heavy. I've ran out of storage twice now since Timelocke started from all the footage I had to grab from the raw footage into editing it and all that kind of stuff. I'll probably end up having to get rid of all the raw footage because my hard drive will end up running out of space before we know it. I think it was about a year ago. I bought a 4 terabyte hard drive for the PB stuff, and after the file drop we did today, it is sitting at I think 500,000, not 500,000, 500 gigabytes have been used so far of it. So we are at about 17, 19% of it used. So kind of a crazy amount of storage and stuff I've used on that thing already. But I figured I would at least mention what we're doing so you don't see me just mining blocks and all that stuff. First thing we're going to be up to is dropping the roof down a couple blocks, which you'll see me do now, and that's pretty self-explanatory on that one. But I guess I'll kind of balance back and forth between that because I don't want to be too distracting. Because sometimes when I talk and play, I'll get too honed in on what I'm doing or stupid stuff like that. But I'm trying to get better at it and learn a little bit more, but it is definitely a learning process of being able to play and talk and not let the talking get in the way of the playing. My favorite aspects of watching people do Let's Plays like this are the people who can play it and then you can't tell that they're playing and they're not voicing over, and then they start talking and they're like, oh wait, they actually were playing. One good example is IBX Toycat. He's been making Bedrock videos for years. I've been watching him since like 2015, 2016, and I was watching one of his recent videos, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. He voiced over his stuff now." And then immediately in the middle of it, he stopped. Like, "Oh crap, I placed this block wrong." And it's like, "What?" Like it completely broke the immersion of me thinking that he just voiced it over. And he was like, "Nah, you know what? I was just playing." And I thought that was a really cool touch on it and stuff. So I was like, "Man, yeah, that's very cool to see someone who is just so naturally good at this point that they're able to." Not voice it over, and it sounds like they're voicing it over, which, you know, he's done thousands of episodes of his Minecraft series at this point, so he's definitely an expert. Here we're 40 episodes in, we aren't gonna know as much as other people do at this stuff. So yeah, I guess probably shouldn't have too much silence in it because I can't just be like, I'm gonna break this block, I'm gonna place this torch here. That'll kind of that'll kind of get very redundant. Oh, something really funny after last episode, because last episode I did a bit of a different one. I started talking about modern Minecraft and I brought some news up, and I'm hoping that it brings in some more viewership. At the moment, looks like the video has a dud. Like the last 5 event, it has like maybe 4 views and maybe what 4 hours or 5 hours or something like that. So it wasn't majorly impressive. But after I ended up recording that one, I forgot to turn Minecraft off, and I was AFK'd outside for 20 minutes outside the front door. And I ran over. I was like, "Oh crap!" And I looked, and nothing came to me at all. I was like, "Okay, wow, my mob spawning proof actually worked, which is really nice." So hopefully we'll be able to stay up and not have to worry about AFKing at night and stuff. So we can just work through the night, especially once we head downstairs work on some other stuff. But that'll probably be next episode because I doubt we can get through it that quickly. But things worry about a different time, so I'm not gonna be too pressed on that. But yeah, I think that was the only unexpected thing that happened was just, being like, oh wow, the mob's proofing actually did work, which I did enjoy being like, okay, see, look, I did do something right here, okay? So very happy with that. Another thing that I have been mentioning this for a while now, I want to figure out a way to honor people who comment and watch these videos, which is something we've talked about for a good while. It's like, okay, I want to have my own Love Garden, as like Glaze Stampy every episode or two at this point. I eventually, I'll give it up. So next, my base is gonna look like his or something. And everyone's like, oh look, he did his thing. It's like I'm sorry, okay, I'm just hardwired that way. I can't help it. So hopefully you don't run into that because obviously I want to take what he does and just do it. I wouldn't say better because you can't do better than what you look up to, or what you believe in. I guess I should say. But hopefully, I take my own twist on it and it becomes something enjoyable in that regard. So yeah, we'll see on how that goes and stuff. But yeah, anyway, so speaking back to his love garden, I've been hounding myself on the fact that I really want to have my own type of world or my own way of doing things, and I've been thinking on it for a good bit now. But it's like, okay, it's like the only way to write people's names out are on signs, and it's like, okay, cool. How do I do signs? And I was thinking back to the only YouTubers I know who ever did stuff like this. The only ones I watched at least there was Stampy and there was Popular MMOs. And well they did it for their modded Minecraft series, I believe, when was what he and Jen did. I only watched those a handful of times and stuff. And I remember it was always fun as a kid. You make a comment like, "Oh my gosh, it could be me," and then you watch episode and it's not you, and you're like, "Oh dang it!" And then you're like, "Oh, maybe next time." And then you comment again and again. I mean, it's amazing comment bait for videos. That was back before the algorithm even prioritized. I can't talk in some of these. The way that they just like put videos forward more if they had comments on. Because nowadays everybody's like, oh, leave a comment, tell me what you think about this, and they're doing it so that they get more bait for the algorithm and stuff. Which I mean, hey, it's smart. I'll do the same thing once people start commenting. I'll be like, oh yeah, tell me about your day. Tell me about this. You watch people like Preston. They will stop and like within one video 5 or 6 times, like, oh, comment about this. Tell me about this. Did you see anything? Or they put intentional comment bugs in there. I was watching who was it? It was yeah, Jaren. He made a video. I love watching people who make debunk videos or who make videos disproving things. I don't know. It's just some part of my brain has always enjoyed like conspiracies and then the debunking of them. And he did one debunking. I think it was 100 Preston records or something like that, where he was disproving how his videos are fake. Shocker! Preston's videos made for kids are fake. I know. I was beyond shocked. I couldn't sleep that night. It was really hard for me to stomach that and stuff. But in one of the parts, he talked about how in the video he stopped like 4 or 5 times to tell his audience to comment and stuff on the videos. And I was like, oh dang! It's like maybe this stuff does work. Maybe I should be making stuff for kids instead of for people who are around my age, which is a stranger demographic to work towards, and I feel like it'll still end up bringing kids into this because it is Minecraft at the end of the day. It's not like I'm going to be pandering to 20-year-olds and it's realistically going to be teenagers because that's who has the most time in their life is going to be people in high school, and especially how it is on my other venture through the social medias. It's mostly people in high school and college because those are the people who have the most free time to do things. And it's really funny too because all the people that I'm getting to watch my content are going to end up becoming like real adults and have actual things to start doing. And it's just like I sucked them in early enough that they are now going to be doing this to me. I didn't mean to miss those blocks there, but anyway, we got them. We're good. See, look, you gotta mix in a little bit. The immersion can't always break. You gotta sometimes bounce back in and stuff. So I'm there. Don't worry. Don't worry. But yeah, recording ththese videos late at night are never the way for me because I go off script, I go off candy, and things sound wrong and stuff. Um, because when I record some videos, I always think that it sounds really bad and like I'm rambling and I don't make sense and I'm kind of just talking. And then I watch back, I'm like, you know what? That really wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So I think need to give myself more confidence in what I talk about because I talk about it for like a certain reason and stuff. Not like I just talk the talk, which obviously there is times when you do talk to talk. It's like, okay, crap, I got 20 minutes. I just gotta make a video. It's like, oh, anyway, dolphins or whatever comes to mind first, and you just bang it out and you just do that. So it's just one of those things that I just I gotta just trust myself more in. But we will get to that when we get to it and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, so back to I guess talking about debunking conspiracies because I enjoyed Jaron. He did 2 videos on Preston. I think I've watched both of them multiple times. I always love going back to them. Another great example is Canadian. He makes I love his debunk videos. He has this one on his second channel. I probably watch it probably 15, 20 times. Honestly, at this point, I'll be later at night. I just want to turn something on as I play on my phone, and I will just turn on his debunk video of Hissy, who was a Minecraft manhunt YouTuber. I don't know if he's still making stuff or not because I know Canadian was supposed to make a debunk video about him with some friends, and then I got linked, and then they got harassed. So I don't know if that ever like derailed his career or anything, or if he just kept going with what he was. I'm assuming he just kept going with what he had because it's really hard to lose enough momentum to be kicked off a platform unless your account gets actually terminated. I would say because I'm thinking back to some people who have gotten removed, like you got like EDP and stuff, where he got kicked off the platform, and then he was one of the examples of people who lost everything. Like he tried to apply at McDonald's, people would tell him what he did, and he'd get fired, and he just couldn't find a job and stuff, which is a crazy part of the internet. Is how they can make a bad person life even more difficult. But also, scary thing is, imagine if it would have been somebody who didn't do what they were convicted of, and then they got stuck in that loop because everybody was convinced they did, which is the scary part. So it's like, just don't let that happen to you. I guess is the best way of wording that one. So yeah, and huh, I really need to think more before I plan some of these because I got out. If you have been watching these videos for a while, back when I first started, I was at work zoning. If you don't know what zoning is, it's basically just where you just clean up the product, zone it up. I can't use the definition of the word. It's where you just pull the product up, make it look more presentable, break cardboard down. And I was working on some cheese, and I was like, man, I got some really good ideas for Timelocke. And so I ripped up a Chewbacca cheese box, grabbed a pen, walked into the cooler, and I wrote some ideas down. And I was sitting here before the video started. I was like, man, I need a couple ideas for this. And I was like, what do I do? And so I wrote down 7 ideas on here. At the moment, I think I've checked off 5 of them as they were random little videos I wanted to make. One of the videos is literally in the first 5. So it was very early in the time lock. And I mentioned this piece of cardboard multiple times if you have been around since then, which is crazy to think that was what 2-3 months ago at this point now, and the fact we're still going strong, which is really cool to see and stuff. But some of the stuff I had was, why did I do this? My YouTube heroes, who what slash what inspired me. First, Halloween movie sucks. Who am I? History of me on YouTube. And then I got 2 other videos which I have not made yet. They're definitely more deeper ones. One is just another random like Halloween one, and it's about a music band which I think was overhated, which I may eventually do that. Honestly, it could be next episode. You never know at this point, but I doubt I would have 15, 20 minutes to talk about a single topic like that and stuff. But no, it was cool grabbing this out because it sits on my desk on in one of my paper racks. It's right at the bottom of it above my folder for, Pokemon bracket stuff. And I was like, man, I need to double check it. And it's like I need to write some more ideas down because I'll be sitting at work and I'm like, man, this is a really good talking point. Or I'll literally just be consuming content and I'll see something about that. Like, I wanted to make a video on Mog Swamp, his Nether update, or sorry, his end update video, and how he doesn't understand how mojing works, which is something I still really want to make because people, when they go to make their prediction videos about Minecraft, they all fall into the same trap of where I don't want to go too much into it because this is definitely a video I still want to make, which I talked about many episodes ago, is where they take a concept from Minecraft or Reddit and like, oh, let's make this again. And it's like Mojang doesn't do that. One of the big things they're about is, never getting rid of never sorry, not getting rid, sorry, putting something in the game that has no use or isn't different on its own. Like they're not going to add a new ore to the game, just add a new ore. They're going to add it with some other type of function on top of it. So when I see people making an end video and they're like, okay, imagine an end respawn anchor, but for the nether or for the end. And then they call it like the end anchor or something like that. Or it's like, okay, they're not just going to do what they did in the Nether update again in the end. They're going to move upon it and do more off of it, if you get what I mean. Like, people are just acting like it's a copy and paste. Like, what they did once, they're going to do again. It's like, no, they're not going to do that again. There's a reason that it's the way it is, and it's just something that bothers me. I would have to go to examples because when I watched MogSwap's video on it, that's just all I thought about was that. And then I saw another guy made a video on it, and then I ended up seeing on Mog's second channel, he made a video addressing that video, which I had concerns with that guy's video too, because he randomly also just like called him out for his watch sponsor. Some other random little things, how hypocritical he was about his own stuff, which honestly, it would be a good video now because it's been a little bit. Discourse has settled, and it would be a fun talking point. So I'm definitely very interested in going over that. But that was my little mini synopsis on it, if you will say, so you guys have an idea on when that video eventually never comes out and stuff. But But yeah, so anyway, for I guess I'll act like I'm, playing again and stuff. But so what we're doing for this front door is I wanted to push it up one so that we could smash it in a little bit. And so the reason I was doing this is because I was looking at it from the front and it just feels like it's too long. I'm not sure why it's too long or why I just felt like it, but I looked at the front and I was like, okay, this is too much. Well, the original idea was going to be to get rid of this bump out, which, I'm now rebuilding, and was actually just flush the entire thing against a wall and just leaving it there. And I was like, okay, I like this idea, but it just feels off. And right before I went to go record, I'm sitting here staring at the edges. I'm like, this just doesn't feel right to me at all. And okay, we ignore that, but idiot. But and I don't even want to know what. It's a little late for me to be doing this kind of stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. But so I went to look at it from the sides, and I was like, the bump kind of gave it a little bit more character on it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to at the very least keep some of the bump and shave off a couple blocks of it. So that's where I am now with it. So it's now a whole ordeal to mess with and stuff. And so I want to be careful when I grab these poppies and dandelions. I want to put them back in the same order they were. Maybe it's just me being, crazy and stuff. But I like keeping things the way they were, even when I break them. Like I even have my first diamond all separated. I don't know what kind of autism this is or whatever. I've never been diagnosed, so it doesn't count. But I don't know. I've always done that for stuff. Like I'm always sentimental to random things. Like certain things I like. It's like, okay, this was the flower I placed. I want to remember this. So you're gonna stay right there. Oh, this is my chicken. My chicken's gonna sit in this coop and it's never gonna die. I get really attached. So that's why I'm worried when dogs come out, because it's like crap. I'm gonna get very attached and I'm gonna probably lose so many dogs to stupid things. I'm just not even ready for it. But we'll probably have what, 10 years with dogs? Probably more than that. I honestly don't even know what dogs can. I'm assuming early beta, like it'd probably be like a 1.3 or a 1.4 type of ordeal. Because or I mean, it could have been a 1.82 with the adventure update, but this is really something I'm not too toned with. I will be good to, figure this out as we go because I didn't join beta technically because I didn't start playing Minecraft till it was fully released in I think 2012. 2012, 2013 is when I started. I think it was 2012. I've tried to pinpoint this down a couple times before, but it was because I played on console edition second, and then I also played on Java. Not Java. This is on console edition, and I played on PE. Got most of my stuff on PE right there. But, I think that's gonna be it for today. This is definitely a different vibe. I like making random different videos too. It's gonna feel like a cluster whenever you go to binge the series. But hey, it's fun in the moment to record and always trying new stuff to figure out what's best works for me. But that's all for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.